Hi, Miracle.
Hello, Kuti, good evening. I hope
How
you're
you doing
well.
now?
I'm
I'm
great.
great, thank you. Mhm.
Okay, I hope you had a nice day too.
Yeah, I did. Thanks a lot.
Okay, so like we discussed, we are meant to have this session is meant to be just for 30 minutes. So
Yeah.
I want to see how we can be able to just do as much as we can to stay within that time frame. So everyone, welcome. Thank you for joining us. We have Uncle Tola in the house. We have Uncle Tola in the building. So we are going to be having our Q&A. So I think what we are going to be doing, if you have a question, please just drop it. Use the question and answer icon. Right on my screen is on the far right, second to the last icon. So just click on that and put your questions there so that we can see. So it's easier for us to assess and just attend to, right? Um, so while we wait for the question, Uncle T, I don't know, what do you think that in regards to the last session we had, I can't remember, I think someone was asking a question, but instead of us going into that, can we just talk about um, the the challenge of, there was something we were talking about in the group last time, which was where where designers were undervalued, and which is what they face almost all the time. So,
Mhm.
and we could see that challenge emanating from them being unaware of who they are, because I think that's also an underlying factor, and
Yeah.
tend to create room for such scenarios to happen. It's almost an everyday thing. You see designers who are meant to be earning better, who are meant to, be appreciated more out there, with that lack of awareness of who they are and being treated poorly, or being faced with so many ill experience or bad experience. So I think I would just want you to shed more light on what they can do better, and generally that challenge, just like a designer listening now and he's facing that maybe in within his journey, and we want insight. So I think let's start from that, why we expect questions to roll in.
All right. Okay. So I think I will just quickly get into it. And yeah, this was something that was being discussed on the mentoring club. And I think it was Joanna that came up with that question of why are designers, why is design being bastardized, and why do people do design or regard design as a side hustle? And it's a very good question, and it was one of those things that I really had to take time to think about. It's not like it has never crossed my mind before, but I had to think about it because I wanted to be sure that my thoughts were not, or my answer to that question was not impulsive. I wanted to be sure that I was giving her the right answer, or giving the group the right answer. And you can see that we still have not spoken about it on the group,
Yeah,
because I
yeah.
want it to be something that we will take time to actually discuss on a platform like this, where everyone can share their opinion. But for me, um, designers are being undervalued, and that is according to designers. You understand? It is this statement is a statement made by designers that they are being undervalued, or we are being undervalued as designers. So is it true? Now it's hard to say something is true when it is said by only one party. You understand? So a lot of people say if you want to know the truth, hear what both parties have to say, and the truth is somewhere in between that. And
Yeah,
I feel is the same thing when it comes to this issue of designers saying designers are being undervalued, they are not being paid enough. Like um I think it was Tom Ted that shared a screenshot of someone that wanted to do like a design competition. I was saying that they're going to pay 5K to the winner
yeah,
of the. Those things are ridiculous. But you know, the truth is, how have we have as designers, how have we positioned ourselves over the years? And we must ask ourselves this question: has design in Nigeria, we're not talking about globally right now, has it truly improved over the years? There are definitely more designers now in the design industry than there were when I started designing. The population has exploded. And I can even say that there might be as many as 10 times more designers as there were in the industry 20 years
when you
ago.
started.
There are more people that call themselves graphic designers now.
Very true.
So either graphic designers, web designers, UI designers, whatever they are, there are so many of them. Now, has the quality of work gotten better? Honestly speaking, I don't think so. I don't think designers are doing better work. I would, not only do I not think so, I think designers are even doing worse work right now. So to get a designer that will design something that will understand you as a client and design something that is good enough is hard. It's hard now. To get a good designer, you must go through like 10 designers as a client if you have the energy to go through it. So because the truth is, I've been a client before. I've had to hire designers. You understand? And I know how hard it can be to get people deliver on a level that is international standard right now. And that's where the problem lies. The problem lies in the fact that unlike 20 years ago, where the standard was Nigerian standard, when people wanted to work with me then, it was how good is it? Is it better than other guys in Abuja? Is it better than other guys in Nigeria? But now, the social media. So clients are seeing what people are doing in New York. They are seeing what people are doing in Brazil. They are seeing what people are doing in China. They are seeing what people are delivering. Do you understand? Then they're now coming to Nigeria and they're now seeing that this work doesn't match up to what I'm seeing out there. Match up to what I'm seeing out there. And that's where the problem now lies. So there's no way they can value it what you want in your head. They will only value it in relation to what they are seeing out there. You understand? So what they are saying is that it really doesn't look as good as what I'm seeing on TV per se. It doesn't look as good as that. And if it doesn't look as good as that, should I be paying as much as this? You understand? So the quality of work for designers has not really improved. So it's funny that designers now feel like if their pay should increase. Your pay cannot increase if your work doesn't improve. Do you understand? If the work doesn't improve, your pay cannot increase. And I keep saying this thing, like myself and Yinka, we've been doing logo match for a while now. And I feel this is the fourth logo match we did this year. So we've been doing it 4 years. And I can say with all honesty, no bias, the work has steadily gone down. The quality of work that we have from designers, and we are looking at this as designers right now. We are looking at it as designers. So there's no bias. You understand?
Yeah.
The work has steadily gone down. If Yinka was on the call, he will tell you the same thing. We will need to go through like 10, 12 good works before we find one. Then go through another 10, 12 before we find one that we can say this one is good enough. And we compare that to when we started 4 years ago. And then we would go through like every single one before we see a really bad job. We would have gone through like 5 or 6. So the indices kind of shows that look, design work is not as good as it used to be. So of course people are not going to pay as much. They're not going to pay as much because designers now, the truth that design has become a hustle. A lot of and I say the number of people that are designing now compared to when I started designing, they've quadrupled. You understand? There are more people in the industry now. That's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing because on a good day it should make the industry more competitive. But it's a bad thing when the people that are now coming into the industry are joining for the wrong reason. They are joining because they just want to make money, because it's a quick way of making money. So if you meet 5 designers, 3 or 4 of them are into it because number one is easy to get in, number two it's easy to get quick money from it. So it's quick hustle for them. You understand? So they're not pushing themselves. They're not pushing themselves as hard. You see, like you now, Miracle. You've worked on projects that you shared with me before,
Yeah.
and I know I kind of know what your work process is like. There was a project you were working on last year,
Yeah.
and was it or 2020? I can't remember, but
Yeah. That should be last year.
last year, right?
Yeah.
You see, at that point we were working on it, but at the point where the work was good enough, you still sent it to me. Like, sir, what do you think?
Yeah.
And I told you, okay, change these small things there. You see, you still went at that point. If you can remember well, you had gone very far. You've done the presentation and everything. But when I told you
Yeah.
this thing doesn't, you went back again to change everything from the beginning again. Because for you, it was not about doing easy work. It was about doing good work. So even when I told you this thing doesn't look so, it was a small thing I asked you to do. Remember? But you
Yeah.
went back and you changed all the collateral, everything, the video, all the and you came back and you showed it to me as though it was good enough. You see, it's hard to get designers to work on that level today. If you tell a designer, look, this thing, this one small thing, go and change it, you just won't contact you again. Because I can't go back and change. Let me just submit this thing to the client. And that's even if he contacts you as a much more senior designer. He won't contact you. You just feel, I've got it. It's good enough by me. Send to the client. You understand what I'm saying? So they sent half-baked jobs to the client. So you see, that thing that you and I might have, that is the character of, if it's not good enough, we're going to bring it back as many times as possible till it's good enough.
Yeah.
You understand? There are some times I would have done a job, and I've already attached it, about to send it, and I realize, this color I'm using on this business card is not the same color as I've used on, and I'll just say, Omo, I'm not sending this logo. I'm not sending it right now. I'm going to bring it down and go back again and change that color on each different collateral.
Exactly.
That
Exactly.
painstaking work,
Yes.
people don't do it anymore. They're like, no, it's not so different now. We didn't notice. You understand? That is what people pay for. It's not that you're a graphic designer, you can do pixels, and nobody will pay you just to join pixels because it's so easy to do nowadays. So when people say we are being undervalued, people are paying less, no, people are only paying the
For what
quality
is
of
available.
what they see.
Yeah.
So when they look at it and like, what's come to us? What this designer has done for me? On a good day, I should be able to do a little better than this on my own with Canva. They will not pay you more than what they will pay themselves on their own. So I'll look at an industry like photography now. Hmm? 20 years ago, photographers were not being paid a lot of money. Photography was not even something you tell your parents you want to do as a job. Photography was a hobby. It was a hobby. Nobody was flying anybody to Spain to go and photograph their wedding. It never used to happen before. Photographers were point and shoot because they saw it as, I can take. Everybody was taking photographs then now, so they were like, why should I pay him anymore? You
Yeah.
understand? But photographers kind of changed their own industry themselves. When people like Kelechi Amadi started taking photos that on a good day, if you are, and then it started with celebrity photos or sport, and you see, if you're a celebrity, you see someone's photo and you're like, look, this photo doesn't look like anything that me I went to go and take with one or no, and you show it to a normal photographer. I don't know what to use. I don't have this lighting. I don't have the lens. I don't have this. Then people now start saying, okay, I have to go and snap with Kelechi Amadi. You understand what I'm saying? Because he upped the game. What he was doing in his studio, you couldn't do it by yourself. So you needed to go and pay him. Then photographers started seeing that, there were techniques that they could use. There were equipment that they could buy. So you see, they started investing more in lenses, in lights, in umbrellas, in backgrounds, and stuff that the average man cannot go and buy. If you want to say, okay, you want to compete with me, go and snap this kind of thing in your bedroom. You can't do it. So because people on their own couldn't do it on their own, they started to value photography more. They started to say, oh, you know what? We can't take this photograph on our own. We need to call this guy. Then photographers started upping the ante. The ante started going, and then photography just became a thing. It became an industry. It became something that you take your photographer with you wherever it is you're traveling, whether you're traveling to
Yeah.
Brazil or traveling to China. You pay for all because you know the value it's going to give you. They up the game themselves. They bought the equipment. They learned the techniques. They paid attention to detail. They didn't just start paying them because people started loving photographs. They started paying them because people started loving what they were seeing that photographers were doing. My question is, what are people seeing that designers are doing? You understand? So before they start paying us more, what are you doing? How are you upping the game? How are you investing in your own skill? You understand? What have you done to invest more? You're not investing more and you want to be paid more. It's not going to happen. You understand? So that question of undervaluing, I don't think they're undervaluing. I don't think so. I think they're just paying the value that they see. Miracle, eh? You've worked with some clients now. Look, when people look at your rate card, and I mean, the first time you shared your rate card with me, I was impressed because you, your rate card was in dollars. The first time you shared it with me, and that showed me that your mindset was different. You understand?
Yeah.
So, miracle. When last did somebody come to you as ink and code to say they will pay you 5K? For when last did it happen? Honestly speaking, that they will pay you 5K.
I can't remember.
You understand what I'm saying? Because the value you give, the scent you give out, the scent that you give out, the aroma you give out doesn't attract those kind of people. So if I come to you with 5K, it means that the scent you are giving out, is attracting those kind of people. So check
Very true.
yourself. You understand what I'm saying? If you are giving out an odor, you will attract flies. Do you understand? You
Very
cannot be
true.
giving out an odor and be thinking you will attract butterflies. Not going to happen. You understand? If you give out a scent or a scent or an aroma, the chances are the aroma of nectar will attract butterflies. You understand? But so it's the same thing I see with designers. They are giving out an odor and expecting to be getting butterflies. How now? You understand? It doesn't work that way.
Doesn't work
When
that
last
way.
did someone approach me to tell me they will pay me 5K? No, unless I'm lying to myself, it has not happened in the past 10, 15 years. 5K, nobody has approached me. Because when they see my work, they auto correct themselves. I
Instantly.
cannot pay 5K for this job. In fact, they will tell you, if you are giving quality as a designer, your clients themselves will tell you, with your work that I'm seeing now, hope you are not too expensive for us. That's what they will say. You understand? Because they can already see, they can already smell, they can already sense that this is value. You understand what I'm saying? So the narrative, if people are coming to you 5K, 2K, it must be that you look like 5K, 2K. You smell like 5K, 2K. You present like 5K, 2K. You
Yeah.
position like 5K, 2K. That's the way it is. You understand? You give what you. So I don't totally agree that we're being undervalued. I believe that the industry is full of people, full of designers that don't carry value, that don't emanate value, and they're expecting to be paid as much as other people that are giving out value. It's not going to happen. It's not.
Thank you so much, sir. I think, guys, if you're joining, please, we just have a few minutes. This is not meant to be a long session. I believe you've gotten value from this. If you're a designer and you are worried or you've had this experience of feeling that you're undervalued, I think it's your positioning. Bottom line, it's just your positioning. It's what you've actually, it's the structure that you're currently operating, right? So if you have a question, please drop the question in the comment section so that Mr. Tola can answer your question before he leaves. I think one other thing I want to ask is, today I was talking about pricing and I was talking about the ability to, that the reason why somebody is billing $100,000 for a grant project and the other is billing $1,000 is simply their perspective. It's simply the level of, or it's simply how much their minds can contain per time and how they see things. So, but I want to drive that down to, there was a time I was listening to your session. You were talking about the 4 years, which is the first 4 years, the second 4 years, and then the third 4 years. Can you shed more light on this, because I think that has a lot to do with your ability to also build rightly. Because I said
Yeah.
something finally in that session, in that content, I said, despite the fact that the caveat in that content or in that statement is, before you even think about billing big, you must be able to first ensure that expertise and experience are intact, right? So
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
I want you to really shed light on that.
yeah, yeah. And you said it already. You understand? You said already. Um, and that, which also kind of addresses another issue that people have, is that is that unrealistic expectation, and which is why they still see design as a hustle, is a get rich quick scheme
Quick skin.
to a lot of people. Is get rich quick. So when they look at design, they're like, I've been designing for 6 months now. I've not gotten someone pay me 100K. No, it's just unrealistic. It's unrealistic. And so a lot of unrealistic expectations is not totally the fault of the people that are having those unrealistic expectations. It's the fault of people like you and I, and people that might be higher than you and I, that should be mentoring but are not mentoring. They are pressuring. You understand? A lot of people that should be mentoring are pressuring. And what I mean is, when you're mentoring, you are telling people the true story. You are telling them how things were when you started, how hard it was for you to get your first person to trust you with 10K,
Yeah.
how long it took for you to get someone to pay you your first 1K, how you had to learn under somebody for a long time before you had the confidence to start putting your work. People are not putting that out there. The mentors, the leaders are not putting that out there. What
Very
they are
true.
putting out there is they are showing their office space. They are showing their new cars. They are talking about them. They are showing photos of them working, them talking to leaders and industry leaders, and they are showing their bank accounts. Those things are pressuring people under, because they are thinking that you.
Uh-oh. So I think we'll give a few moments for him to join back. Thanks everyone for joining. Okay, he's back. Yes.
Okay, sorry,
Yes.
the internet was just waving there. But
It's okay.
see that unrealistic expectation that people have, is coming from that pressure that people on top are giving to them. You understand? Is that show off mentality, and when you get.
So guys, if you have a question, this session is meant to be ending soon. We just have 30 minutes. We're just a few minutes away. Please drop your question in the comment section. It's just a question and answer session. So while we expect Uncle Tola to be back, I think his internet is not so good. So while we expect him to be back, please drop your question in the comment section. Right. Thanks Sheyi for joining. Thanks Godwin. Thanks Innovative 99 for joining. Carlson. Thanks everyone for joining. Ife, thank you very much for joining. Nice to have you in the building. Nice to have you. Okay, Uncle Tola is back. Let me bring him back.
All right, sorry for that.
Okay, it's nice to have you back.
All right, sure. So I kept to talk about the unrealistic expectation
Yeah,
that people have. That's why you see somebody that has been designing for 1 year and is frustrated because he has not made his first million. You understand? And I'm saying that some of it is their faulty mentality, but the faulty mentality comes from what they are seeing people that have kind of made it, in quote, put out there. And that's why I say that when you are on top, you should mentor and not pressure. You understand? When you are on top, when you've made it as a designer, when you've made a name for yourself, you are making some money, you should show up and not show off. You understand? So a lot of people see that time they start to show off what they have, show off their portfolio, show off who they have worked with, instead of them showing up for other people
yeah,
and helping them to build. You understand? Forget about what you've done. Forget about your car. Forget about your house. Forget about the family of your picture holidaying. You know you're doing it. Just put it aside. Don't put it outside to start distracting other people. Help them to build. And when you help them to build, you also tell them when you get to that level, you too let all those flashy things, put them in the background. Show them how to build with their hands. Show them how to be patient. Show them how to endure. You understand? Show them how to value working without money being the motivation. You understand? Which is what a lot of people are not doing as mentors. And that's why a lot of people, that first 4 years of saying, I am not working for money. I am working for experience. I'm working for exposure. I'm working for mentoring. I'm working to learn. A lot of people
Expertise.
don't want to expertise. Thank you, expertise. They don't. A lot of people don't want to go through that 4 years. They hate it. How can they say I'm working for exposure? You see, and now when people say, when a client tells you they will pay you in exposure, ignore them. I'm like, that statement is not meant for everybody. If you're in your
It's
first four
true.
years, someone says you're paying exposure, you take the exposure for crying out loud. You don't have the exposure, you need it. Do you understand?
Absolutely.
But you see somebody 6 months saying, don't pay me in exposure, pay me in money. What have you done to deserve money? You understand? Nothing. You haven't done anything. So I feel like if that first 4 years of learning, being mentored is very important. Then the next 4 years after that, when you get into your fifth year, your sixth year, then now start thinking of structuring your business. Start asking for money. Start getting used to calling out a figure for your work. Start getting used to billing. Do you understand? That's when you're now focused on, okay, I need to be paid for this. I've paid my dues. I've learned. Do you understand? The first 4 years, I've graduated from the school of learning the business of design.
Yeah.
Now I need to start getting paid. First, then the second 4 years, you concentrate on building your rates, building your confidence, because you know that you've learned in your first 4 years, you've learned the skill. You're now building your confidence in how to get paid for what you do. And when you now leave that second 4 years, you now go into your third 4 years, which leads into like the rest of your career, where you now start thinking, okay, it's more than money. It's now about giving back. It's now about mentoring. It's now about hiring younger designers and teaching them the ropes. You understand?
Yeah.
That's how you can have a full career as a designer. But you know, a lot of people, right in their first 4 years, they want to start making tutorial videos. Don't start making. I'm like, I don't understand. What tutorial video are you making? You haven't experienced anything. You understand? So they're already making tutorial videos on how to be a successful designer. When you're just 4 years, you don't know yet. You don't know yet. You start making that video, not even your second 4 years. You start making those videos in your third 4 years. Do you understand? You start because then you've seen a lot. You've seen from the angle of a beginner and from the angle of somebody that has started doing it for money. Do you understand
Very
what I'm
true.
saying? So it's that imbalance in trying to grow too fast. So people are on business steroids right now. When people take steroids when they want
Yeah.
to build muscle at a very, very short time. So muscle that should be built in 2 months, you want to build it in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Then you know what happens? You now start having, when you grow older, you have a lopsided development. When you now start having arthritis, you start having muscle pulls, you start having heart problems. Because you know what? You're not allowing yourself to grow
Process.
at that natural rate of growing. You're not allowing it to happen to you. And that's the biggest problem we have in every industry, not just in design industry.
Thank you very much. So I think I have someone asking a question. Innovative is
All right.
saying, as a designer, how can you work on your speaking skills? Like speaking with so much confidence to your clients and prospects. This is a very important question.
Yeah, it's a very good question. And I'm glad that someone is asking that question because a lot of people don't focus on those communication skills. Now, how can you work on your speaking skills? Now, one thing we must know about speaking skills is if you're going to speak with confidence, then you must know what you're talking about. What brings a lack of confidence is when you're not sure about what you're talking about. Do you understand? And that is why when people in their first 4 years try to start teaching, they can't teach because they're not really sure what they're talking. Yes, they read it in a book, they
Yeah.
heard Chris Do say it, but they have not experienced it. You see, me right now, I can speak about anything and I can speak with confidence. Because not only have I read about it, I've experienced it.
You've experienced.
Not only it's not something I heard them say on the future. No, no, no. It's something I've experienced in my own life. You understand? So I can talk about it from. So the confidence comes from I know this thing. You see, and one thing, if you want to build your speaking skills, your communication skills, then you must be able to build your ability to observe things and to take in life and to be because it's experienced people that can speak. If you're inexperienced, it's hard to speak.
Absolutely.
It's very, very hard.
Absolutely.
I know experience is something you build over time. So you see, it comes from, and that's where the growth must be steady. As a designer, when you spend your first 4 years learning under a mentor that gives you work to do, say, you know what, he goes and take work from a client and gives you and say, do it. And you do it, and he takes the work and goes to go and meet with the client. A lot of times, some designers think, oh, this guy doesn't, is the one talking with the client, he's not allowing me to talk to the client. No, he's shielding you from self-destruction. You understand? Because you're not at the rate of talking with the client yet. So he's allowing you to build the work. A time will come, if you have a good mentor, he will allow you to go along with him or her for meetings. But at that meeting, you can't say jack. Just sit down and just be watching them talk. You're listening. Do you understand? You're watching the dynamics of how people talk. And a lot of time people get eager. Oh, I want to talk about, but you haven't learned it yet. You need to relax and let your mentor talk. You are taking it all in. Then after a while, you get to a place where you go for meetings and he allows you to talk. But he's there. He's there with you. And I say, okay, Miracle, do the presentation. My guy Miracle here will take us through the project. He allows you to do the presentation. You will goof at first, make some mistakes, then he will teach you what you've done wrong. Then you go for another meeting, he'll say, okay, Miracle, you won't talk. Then you get to a stage where he doesn't go with you anymore. You say, Miracle, you are going to this place today, you are going to talk, present, make sure you win them over. Before you know it, you are able to talk with clients. The confidence has been built over time. You understand? So with speaking skills, communication skills, it takes time. It takes time. You can't jump into it. Just like a baby cannot just jump into talking. You understand? It cannot jump. It has to do some gibberish first. You understand? Then after which it just picks up some words, some words like hey, dada, mama,
Yeah.
papa, that kind of thing. Then before you know it, the confidence is built and the experience of words starts coming in and it starts stringing words together. So you see, it's something that takes time. You need to, number one, watch people that talk. If you want to learn to be a good communicator, watch people that talk. For me, even in speaking, I did a lot of watching people, and I watch people. There's some people I watch. There's someone like Steve Harvey now. I watch him talking, and I'm like, this guy is very engaging. You understand? And I've been watching him since he was doing stand up, and I'm like, the way he delivers, he's able to deliver on. One thing I like about stand up comedians, maybe not as much in Nigeria, but abroad, and people that are good at their game, people like Trevor Noah. You see, Trevor Noah, the stand up comedian, but right now, he's not doing stand up comedy anymore. He has
It's
his
on another
show.
level.
Yeah, it's another level. You understand? But he
Yeah.
built by doing stand up,
Stand up.
and that's because he learned that confidence. Hey, Miracle.
Okay, great. Okay.
Okay,
I was thinking this from my end. Okay.
no, no, I didn't remove anybody. I think it's from my end too. But
Okay.
and the truth is that
Yeah.
communication skills
Hmm.
are built over time. You understand? Take time, read books, get mentored, watch people that are good communicators. You understand? And then know about your subject matter. When you understand and you have an understanding, or when you have an understanding of your subject matter, you're going to talk about it. You understand? You must understand your
Yeah.
subject matter. And the wider the subject matter you understand, the better you are at communicating. So you see, the problem a lot of designers have is that their subject matter understanding is restricted to design. They know about design. They know about Photoshop, Illustrator, Corel Draw, balance, hierarchy.
Okay.
They know about that subject matter. But a client is not a designer. A client
Hmm.
doesn't know about design. designer knows about fashion, knows about government, knows about music, knows about sports. Then, so for you to have an engaging conversation with the client, you must know about their subject matter, which means that you must be able to watch things and read books and have conversations around this subject matter that allow you to be able to converge to your own subject matter, which is design. But a lot of designers just know about their own subject matter. They can talk about gradients, they can talk about color wheel, they can talk about fonts. But designers don't. But clients don't know about fonts. They don't know about what is sans serif or serif. What they know are other subject matters around that. So you must be able to talk about those subject matters and be able to bring them to your subject. So when you're able to talk intelligently about their subject matters, that they're willing to listen to you about your subject matter. Do you understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So designers, in my opinion, don't expose themselves enough. You should watch documentaries, read about politics, read about sports, watch cartoons, read about music, learn about fashion. You understand? Learn about things. Just be interested in everything. It's your wide array of subject matter understanding that allows you to be an interesting communicator at the end of the day.
Okay. There's a question here. I think the person is trying to maybe add his voice, or I think it's a question. Let me put it that way. So he's saying, and I really like you to weigh in on. He's saying, are you saying that are you saying that things are you saying the things to learn in 4 years can't be learned in 6 months? And then he continued to say, because in my opinion, evolution has made it easier to learn these things and build capacity in the shortest possible time compared to ages when these things takes these things to grow. But I think we get the point anyway. I
Yeah,
think
get the
I
point.
wasn't able
Get
to
the
get
point.
the other. Yes, but I think
Yeah,
that's the
yeah,
point
yeah,
he's trying to
yeah, yeah. Can you microwave the process? That's the point. Can you microwave the process? That's the point. That's the point. That's the bottom line of what he's saying. You see, and that exactly is the issue.
That's exactly.
That belief that everything can be microwaved is the
Mm,
problem. That belief
mm,
that everything can be
mm,
microwaved is the problem. And I will tell you,
mm,
you cannot do
mm,
what you learned in 4 years in 6 months. I don't care how much technology is improved. Some things cannot
mm.
be hastened.
I'm
You
not.
see what? Children were born in 9 months. Nine
Yeah,
months, 100 years ago.
perfect.
100 years
Yeah.
after, children are still born in 9 months. You understand what I'm
Mm,
saying? It takes 9 months for a child to be formed. This thing is not a technology thing. It's not a technology thing. It's a nature thing. You understand what I'm saying? It's a nature thing. Look, there's always cause and effect. When you try to grow something faster than it should be, I've told you now, it's steroids now. You inject steroids
mm,
into anything, plants, animals.
mm,
Look, I like animals. I have dogs. I have two bull mastiffs right now.
mm,
And bull
mm,
mastiffs, they are big dogs. But a lot of people can't wait for them to be big. They grow to be very big. Eh? But the thing about them is their growth is slow. They don't grow fast like all these smaller dogs, all these chihuahuas and all those Pomeranians and all those. They don't grow very fast. These bull mastiffs, they grow their growth in 2 years, they're still growing. Some other dogs have stopped growing in 2 years. 2 years, 2.5 years, they're still growing. You understand? Their head is still
wow.
growing. It takes time. They're patient. But a lot of people cannot wait. They want that their bull mastiff to look intimidating in 6 months. It can happen. It can happen. They will sell you some supplements that you give the dog. Your dog will look, a 6 month old dog will look like a 2 year old dog. The head will be
Wow.
big, the body will be big, but in 1 year, that dog will be dead. In
Wow.
1 year, that dog will be dead. I'm telling you. I'm my bull mastiff. My bull mastiff, the oldest one, is 6 years, and it's still very agile.
Wow.
A lot of people have bull mastiff. They tell you, you see, and that's the problem. That's the problem with when we look at white. I'll stay on this issue of dogs to clarify this to you. The white person, when you Google it, say dogs should live maybe 11 years, 12 years, 15 years. But you see some dogs in Nigeria live 22 years. Do you understand?
Wow.
I'm kind of think why. And because the truth is that when you look at dogs abroad, what they eat, a lot of what they eat is processed food and stuff like that enables them to grow very fast. They grow fast, but they die fast. You understand? They sped up the process, cause and effect, but they've shortened their lives. The same thing with a designer that wants to say technology has allowed me to learn in 6 months, so I should move on to the next stage immediately. It's a lie. You might have learned a lot in 6 months, but you have not grown. Do you understand? You have not grown.
Yeah.
You've not absorbed. Do you understand? It's still the brain absorbing. Technology has evolved, but the brain is still the brain. You understand what I'm saying? The brain is still the brain, the same shape, the same color, the same texture. The brain has not evolved. It's still the same thing. You understand what I'm saying? So it's still going to take you time. That experience, you cannot microwave it. You can't microwave it. It takes time. It takes time. So what you think you've learned in 6 months and think that you can bypass it 4 years, it will come out eventually by the time you enter the second stage of your 4 years. It's just like, before in schooling, people were allowed to go through the ranks. Then school started hastening off some people because they felt that these people are extremely brilliant. So they say double promotion, triple promotion, go from primary 3 to secondary school because they are so brilliant. But you see, it always shows up. It will show up. You can't. It's a nature thing. It's not a technology thing. It will show up. By the time the person now gets to marriageable age, cannot get married because they cannot. That person that is so brilliant cannot talk to a girl. He doesn't know the words to say to a girl. Like, oh, what do I say? They can't follow up because they didn't learn interaction. They jumped. All the school was looking at was, is he passing maths? Is passing maths? Is he passing English? Take him to primary 6, Jerry. But the problem is you're not learning whether can he talk to Ngozi by his side? Can he be in a group with Sade and talk to her? Not knowing that that's going to affect him in the future when he's now a 30-year-old man. They're now looking for a wife for him. Do you understand? Because you know what? All you were looking at was what he has learned in class. Like this guy that is saying 6 months, all he's looking at is the software he has learned. He has not looked at how many people have I interacted with. How many people have I won over? Have I been able to talk about my business with? That is what makes you qualified. It's not anybody can accumulate softwares in 2-6 months. That kind of thing. You can learn it. You understand? But does that qualify you to have double promotion to the next level? No, it doesn't. You haven't interacted enough with life. It's a life thing. It's not a technology thing. Technology cannot quicken life. It cannot quicken life. Do you understand? So I still remain until technology gets to a point where a woman can get pregnant today and give birth to the baby next week and the baby will be healthy. Then you can come and tell me that technology can quicken up the process. But technology cannot quicken life. And these stages I'm telling you about, 4 years, first 4 years, second 4 years, has nothing to do with technology. You see, I've not said anything about Photoshop or CorelDRAW because technology changes.
Exactly.
I'm only talking about your interaction with life. And that cannot be quickened. It cannot be quickened.
Woo! Thank you so much. This is actually what most designer, because I actually wanted to ask a question, but you just answered it while you were talking. Because what is happening today is that the economy somehow seems to be influencing this entire
strongly influencing.
Yes, these activities we are seeing, this attitude we are seeing is influencing it. But you can't take away the place of growth. You cannot take it away. And that is why defining your personal vision, your corporate vision, where are you really headed? It's what if you have a picture of working with brands like Coca-Cola, Schlumberger, Nestle, if you have that vision, you need to go and do the work so that when opportunity comes, it won't pass you by. So I think you've actually handled that question perfectly. I would like to. I think we actually agreed to do this for 30 minutes. This is we just have this 48 minutes already. So
are there still any more questions?
No, there's no question. So I'm thinking we should end this session. So thanks everyone for joining. We'll be having a session with Mr. Tola on Saturday. and that will be in design series. So design series is primarily a platform, is a community for creatives generally, not just graphic designers, for creatives. And the primary goal of that community and that vision is to help creatives become creative entrepreneurs, or help designers become creative entrepreneurs, right? And it is all encompassing. Part of what we are discussing, you know, is what we've actually been. Some of them is what we'll be handling for a couple of weeks. So he will be rounding up the session for June. It's a 2 months boot camp. So we just will be rounding up the session for June, and it will continue down to the end of July. So he will be talking on design leadership, which is a very critical topic. Design leadership. Okay, so if you are not yet in that group, or sorry, if you're not in our group, in our community group, all you need to do is just to follow us on Instagram. Follow design at design series. The S is spelled as Z. I think I'm just going to type it here. A design series. Okay, a design series. So please follow a design series, and then okay, I just dropped it down. So when you follow the group on, if you follow the page on Instagram, click on the WhatsApp on the link. It's going to take you to the WhatsApp group. That's where you're going to get every other information, and that's how you can access that program. Thank you so much, Uncle Tola, for joining us. It's been an
Thanks
amazing
for having me.
session, and I really had fun. So if you're joining now, please kindly click on the replay. It will be in my replay session on my page, so you can always access this session. Thanks all
Yeah.
for joining, and do have an
And I just wanted to
amazing
say that
weekend.
because some people might still have questions, and if you have
Okay,
a question, I have a Telegram group that is dedicated to answering design questions. It's
very
open
true. Yes.
24/7. So if you want to join, on my page, there's a link to the It's a pinned. It's one of my pinned posts. You'll see there's a link in my bio. There's a link to my Telegram group. Just click the link. You will join the Telegram group and just drop your questions there. Your questions will be answered. Any question, no matter how ridiculous it is, because I can see some people are still trying to ask questions here. But please ask me a question on my Telegram group. Timmy Blaze, I can see you just send me a message. If you can put the question on my Telegram group, that would be great. Then I can send a voice note, and then you can listen to it, and other people can benefit from it. So please, Timmy, it will be good to have you on Telegram group.
So everyone, please follow Uncle Chola on his Instagram Instagram page. Follow me
Yeah,
also as well, so you can always get feedback, and then click on the Telegram group.
yeah,
Thanks
it's in my
everyone. Do
bio.
have an amazing. In his bio, yeah. Thanks everyone. Thanks so much for having us. Following for doing this tonight. It's such a blessing to hear from you once again.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So, guys, thanks for joining. Do have a lovely night. Like I said, follow him on Instagram so you can join that Telegram group. There's a Telegram group that you can have your question asked, and he will answer it. You don't have to. That's actually an amazing way to access him. So we have lots. I think we have almost 1,000 people in that Telegram group. So it's easier for you to ask questions and then get feedback. So have an amazing night. Cheers.